All right, let's get right into it. We're going to explore a really wild idea today. A theory that claims the Quran isn't just a sacred text, but that it actually holds a hidden mathematical structure, like a cosmic code embedded right there in the words.
So, what if an ancient text held the code to the universe? I mean, really think about that for a second. That's the core question here. The people who put this theory forward believe that behind the words, there's a blueprint. Not just a guide for how to live, but a blueprint for, well, for everything, the very fabric of reality.
Okay, so where do we even begin with a theory like this? Well, the first clue, the starting point of this whole investigation, is something they call the search for the middle. It sounds simple, but as you'll see, it's a pretty profound idea that kicks everything off. And the key to that first step is a single Arabic word, nisfu. It literally means half, or the middle. But we're not just talking about, finding the center of a page. In this theory, nisfu is treated more like a principle, a kind of conceptual key that's supposed to unlock the very first layer of this whole numerical puzzle. So how does this nisfu principle work in practice? Well, the theory points to a few really interesting examples. First, there's this conceptual idea that the nisfu, or middle, of 5 somehow leads to the number 7. Stick with me here. Then, they point out that there are 28 letters in the Arabic alphabet. What's half of 28? It's 14. And guess what? There are exactly 14 of these unique, mysterious letter combinations called muqattahat that appear at the beginning of some chapters in the Quran. And finally, there's even a verse in Surah 73 that directly mentions reading half of the Quran. So you see, these are presented as the first breadcrumbs on the trail. And one of those breadcrumbs, that number 7, is a really big deal. It leads us straight to the next part of this puzzle, what the theory calls the divine cycle of 7. The idea here is that 7 isn't just some random number. It's the key that unlocks a stunningly perfect, repeating mathematical pattern. And believe it or not, this incredible cycle all starts with a simple fraction, 1/7. Now, if you punch that into a calculator, you won't get a nice, clean number. Nope, you get this infinitely repeating sequence of 6 digits, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, over and over again, forever. Okay, now here's where it gets really cool. What happens if you take that block of repeating numbers, 14, 28, 57, and you multiply it by the very number that created it, by 7? What do you think you'd get? You get 999,999, 6 nines. In the context of this theory, that's not just a coincidence. It's seen as a powerful symbol of perfection, of completion. It's like finding a deliberate mathematical signature hidden in plain sight. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Take that same 6-digit number, 142857, and split it right down the middle. So you've got 142 and 857. Now add those two smaller numbers together. The result? 999. It's a pattern hidden inside another pattern, and it's all seen as reinforcing this big theme of unity and completeness. So what we're seeing is that this isn't just about the number 7 all by itself. According to the theory, 7 is just one node in a much bigger system, a prime number network. The idea is that 7 connects to other key prime numbers, and together they weave this incredibly complex mathematical structure right through the text. Just look at this. The theory highlights connections between the primes 7, 13, and 19. For example, if you multiply 7 by 13, you get 91. And what do the digits of 91 add up to? 9 plus 1 is 10. Which boils down to 1. Again, that symbol of oneness. Now get this. Multiply all 3 primes together, 7, 13, and 19, and you get 1729. This is a genuinely famous number in mathematics, called the Hardy-Ramanujan number, for its very unique properties. It's just another one of these connections that proponents say create this whole web of meaning. And the patterns don't stop there. Take the basmala. That's the opening phrase you find at the start of almost every chapter. Well, it turns out there's a pattern in its usage too. Surah 9 is the only one with 0 basmalas. Surah 27 has 2 of them, and Surah 1 has 1. So you get the sequence, 0, 2, 1. And this isn't just seen as random. It's interpreted as a symbolic story, a journey from absence to abundance, and then back to perfect unity. Okay, so we've seen all these different clues, these cycles, these prime number networks, these symbolic patterns. According to the theory, they aren't just separate puzzles. They all point to one thing. They converge on what's called the master key, and that key is a single number. That number is 237. This is supposedly the linchpin, the one number that locks the entire structure together. So why 237? What's so special about it? Well, here's the big reveal. According to the theory, the Arabic word for human, insan, appears exactly 237 times in the Quran. This is huge because it puts humanity right at the very center of this cosmic code. And proponents say this isn't just a simple word count. They claim the number can be derived in 3 different ways from the text. And to top it all off, it connects directly to Surah 76, a chapter which is literally titled Al-Insan, or the human.
So, with this supposed master key in hand, all the pieces of the puzzle, the cycles, the primes, the patterns, are brought together to form the theory's breathtaking conclusion, the idea of a holographic universe. Okay, so what does that even mean? Here's the core idea. The theory proposes that this entire numerical network we've been looking at, the 1-7 cycle, the prime connections, the master key 237, it all acts like a projection algorithm. Think of it like this. The Quran is the source code, and this complex mathematical system is the program that projects our 3-dimensional holographic reality into existence. There's a quote from the source material that really sums up this whole worldview perfectly. It says, "The universe is a readable text, and the Quran is the map that guides us to understand ourselves and the Creator." I mean, wow, it reframes reality itself as pure information, a giant text just waiting for us to learn how to read it. And that's where we land. We've walked through this incredibly intricate web of numbers and meanings, and it all leads to this one single, massive idea. So, what are we supposed to make of all this? Are these patterns just a mind-blowing series of mathematical coincidences? Or could they actually point to something more? A divine blueprint encoded in an ancient text for us to find? Ultimately, that's the big question this theory leaves for you to think about.